Who's ready for a tour of Berlin? So we're starting off our tour in the east side near Warschauer Straße at the East Side Gallery, also known as the longest remaining stretch of the Berlin Wall and the world's largest outdoor art gallery. In the whole 1.3 kilometer stretch that remains, you're probably not going to run into any Berliners. That's because the surrounding area remains rather underdeveloped in the almost 30 years since reunification. If you're a tourist visiting the Berlin Wall, I recommend doing the opposite of what I did. Go later in the day and start off at Ostbahnhof, heading towards Warschauer Straße. If you time it right, you can end up at Warschauer Straße as the sun's setting, giving you spectacular views of the city skyline. If you want to follow me, continue heading west till you end up in the center of the city at Alexanderplatz. Alex has been a transport center and commercial hub of Berlin since the 1800s. Aftermath of World War II, this was one of the centers of the black market where trades were conducted out in the open. The vision of Berlin, Alex ended up in the eastern half, where it received the Marxist facelift that it still carries today. Today, it's once again one of the city's main shopping centers and is frequented by thousands of visitors every day. There's always a lot to do at Alex. If you don't like shopping, you can take in one of the many street performances, or you can wait until a festival comes. Or, if you're adventurously inclined, you can even do base jumping off the Park Inn. They also have a viewing station on the 34th floor, if you're not quite so adventurous but still want to get some nice views of the city. Finished in 1969 by the East German government, the Fernsehturm is Berlin's tallest point and also the symbol of the city. The Fernsehturm is the tallest structure in Germany and the fourth tallest freestanding structure in Europe. It has both a panorama viewing station and a rotating restaurant. We're now headed east again, walking down a street that is today known as Karl Marx Alley. Große Frankfurter Straße was badly damaged during World War II, and as part of East German State Building was redesigned as a monumental socialist boulevard when it was rechristened Stalin Alley. As someone who was born and raised in the US, I love exploring this area because it colors in a society that I was taught was only black and white. It also helps to color in the philosophical backdrop of the Eastern Bloc. Everything in the architecture is massive because the individual is not the focus of society. Society itself is. Normally, society is formed by individuals, but in East Germany, society was designed, and individuals had to conform to it. And even though I've lived here and am familiar with the history, seeing the ghosts of the communist past always feels more than a little spooky. So if Karl Marx Alley can seem a little spooky, let's head on to the area that can seem a little bit comic. Heading a little west again, we end up in the Nikolaiviertel. The original settlement of Berlin started in 1200. The area was almost completely destroyed during World War II air raids, and so for the 750th anniversary of the city in 1987, the East German government rebuilt it. But they rebuilt it using their favorite prefab concrete blocks, giving it a very unique appearance. One of my favorite places for people watching is the Lustgarten on Museumsinsel. We're just down Unter den Linden from Alexanderplatz. Unter den Linden was the Prussian Grand Boulevard and still has lots of very interesting architecture left. The dome we just saw is the Berliner Dom, the Catholic Cathedral of Berlin, and to its left we have the Alte Museum, which is part of the Museumsinsel complex and holds lots of Greek and Roman antiquities. There's a half dozen museums on Museumsinsel, and each of them is well worth your time. They include such antiquities as the Pergamon altar and the bust of Nefertiti. And of course, the entire island has very beautiful architecture and green spaces. If you walk along Unter den Linden all the way to the end, you'll come face to face with the Brandenburger Tor. Originally the boundary between the state of Brandenburg and the city of Berlin, the gate has been a symbol of the city since its inception. And just to the side you'll find the Reichstag, the site of the German parliament. The new dome looks out over the parliament floor. It's open to visitors of any nation as a symbol of transparency and accountability in government. The Reichstag also carries the scars of its past. The invading Red Army carved anti-German graffiti into the building, and it's remained there since. The city itself wears its scars as well. All over the city you'll come across this double brick line, representing the original track of the Berlin Wall. It's very difficult to forget the many layers of history that have happened in Berlin, especially since it's so easy to just stumble across them. Thanks for watching. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on my other adventures. See you soon. Bye.